Today we unbox and attempt to use the long-awaited Titan 25T CNC Press Brake from Langmuir Systems. Let's get into it. Very excited. All right, so y'all know I'm a big fan of Langmuir Systems. We love their fixture tables I've used for many years. The MR1 is an incredible piece of milling machine that is kind of making me feel like I need to learn, go back to school a little bit, but once we get that figured out, gonna be super stoked about it. But we just received something from Langmuir that I've been looking forward to, honestly, the most, and it's a CNC press brake, the Titan 25T. We need a press brake so bad in this shop because we love our shop saber, but really the dynamic duo of tools is a plasma cutter and a press brake, because you can cut your flat pattern parts out on here, and then you go to your second op over here with the press brake and bend them into shape. So many amazing things that we want to be able to build that this thing will hopefully unlock for us. We've had a bunch of temporary press brake solutions, ones that mount in the H-beam press, or ones that aren't capable of handling very thick metal, like our box and pan brake over there, or just heating it and folding it over the edge of the table. But this thing is 33 inches wide. It can bend 1/8 inch steel full length, and then 1/4 inch steel, I think up to I think maybe 2 feet wide. I don't know. It's very impressive, and it's CNC. So I'm excited to see how certain products can be produced by utilizing that CNC repeatability with the automatic back gauge and all that. But in real time, it's Tuesday. I fly out to PRI tomorrow with Walker to hang out with the Shop Saber and Langmuir guys in Indianapolis. And not only am I eager to get to use this thing, but I want to put my hands on it before I go to PRI so I have a little bit of real world experience with the machine. And honestly, I don't like how long it took us to unbox the MR1. So we're gonna get right into this thing, get it open, see what it needs. I think I gotta put it together to some degree, and then we're gonna try to make some bends before I go fly to meet people and talk about it. And Hunter's eager to make some noise, so we'll get into it. For those that don't know Langmuir, their machines ship out of their facility in Conroe, Texas. All designed in the US. And this is honestly one of the most affordable CNC press brakes on the market. When they launched it last year, they actually announced it at PRI. And if you saw our channel, we went live to talk about this thing and announce it to the world. And they got so many pre-orders for this thing. They're now shipping these things out. I think they've been shipping them for about 4 or 5 months. So I know they're making it into the hands of the people that desperately want them. And I can't wait to see what the collective response is out there to this machine. And I'm excited to play with it myself. Bum, 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 bum. The Langmuir Systems Titan 25T CNC press brake. Alrighty then. First thing you kind of see is your dead man switches. These are the buttons. Now I got to see this machine work live last year at PRI, and there were some cool metal brackets they made and gave me that I couldn't fly back with in my carry-on. Otherwise I'd show you what they were making. They were making like business card holders, but I have seen this machine work, and boy was it cool. Press brake storage tray, some press brakes, a few boxes to get into, but I believe the whole thing, there's a base. It might be this guy. But there's a platform this thing sits up higher on with wheels. Oh, it's probably that. Oh, that one's pretty heavy too. Oh boy. All right, let's start here. The Titan 25T welcome booklet. Langmuir is very good at this stuff. A new breed of CNC milling machine. That's left over from their MR1 booklet. This is not a milling machine. Sorry, boys. A little typo there. So, input power, 240 volts, single phase. Machine weighs 750 pounds when it's fully optioned. 25-ton capacity, 300 PSI hydraulic pressure, 1 gallon of hydraulic oil capacity. ISO grade 32 hydraulic oil. Distance between frames, 29 inches. Table width, 2.4 inches. Bend width, max 33 inches. Ram stroke speed, 15 inches per minute. Floor space required 36 by 40 inches. Hydraulic pressure transducer, piezo resistive ceramic, each cylinder. That means. Glass scale linear encoder, each cylinder. Tool mounting, American style, 0.5 inch tang width. Getting started. Assembly guides, tutorials, support, safety. We got a back gauge add-on box. We got a material support tray add-on box, press brake stand add-on boxes. We have a left hand and a right hand cast support, lift plate add-on package, and leveling foot kit add-on box. So that's what all these other boxes are. So let's get them open. Well, these have my initials on them, TW. Thanks, boys. Power cable. Something in here. It's like our lifting plates, if I had to guess. Probably going on here. So that way we can lift it with the forklift and let it dangle and attach the feet. Lieutenant Dangle. There you go. How cool. Look, you got my name on it. So what is a press brake? A press brake is a machine designed to bend metal with the use of a press. So there's a standard press, a shop press, an H-beam shop press, like the one over there. It's just a hydraulic cylinder. It is a self-contained tool that has a bed, usually adjustable, and a hydraulic cylinder that can press into that bed for the purpose of flattening something, squeezing something, pushing something, pressing bearings into things, pressing bearings off of shafts, pressing shafts into other things. If some things require an interference fit or a press fit, if you hear the term press fit, it's because you need to use a press to fit it. So a press brake is the combination of a press and a brake. So you have a press, which offers hydraulic pushing or squeezing force, and you have machines like this, a brake, which are meant to fold metal or break metal. Not B-R-E-A-K, B-R-A-K-E, breaking metal, to fold it. So you take a press and you take a brake and you put them into one tool, and now you have a press brake. So this thing uses hydraulic pressure to bend and fold metal. Why is that important? Well, there's all sorts of things that can be built using this type of method. Brackets, fixtures, boxes, you name it. Anything that requires sheet metal to be folded to make, you can use this machine to do it. So between that roller, this press brake, and that plasma cutter, we can make a lot of stuff, and we intend to. Now, what they have done with this machine that goes so far and above what we are used to seeing in press brakes is they have added CNC, computer numeric control. So it's smart. It has a touch screen, it has computer control, so you get repeatability. You can make programs. If you're making a bunch of parts the same way, they can all be identical, and the bend characteristics are much more accurate. So you can accurately hit a 45-degree bend, a 60-degree bend, a 90-degree bend over and over and over again. And you don't have to use feel, you don't have to guess, you don't have to use manual gauges. The machine knows how far to push the ram and how hard to bend the metal that you need to bend. The crazy thing about this is the price. When they hit the market with this, it was the most affordable, and still is the most affordable CNC, 25-ton CNC press brake on the market, period. And it's kind of nuts. I can't remember the exact dollar amount off the top of my head, but when they hit the market, they didn't even really have to talk about it. The price point and the capabilities is making this thing fly off the shelf. And there's a reason it took until December to get mine, because the line was quite long. So very excited to have it. I'm glad it got here before PRI, even though it's only literally the day before I go to PRI to talk to the Langmuir folks. But this will be at PRI, the MR1 will be at PRI, and Shop Saber is unveiling their new fiber laser at PRI. Excited to go see those people. I know By the time you're seeing this video, PRI already happened. But in real time, that's what's happening. So, coming next is going to be some unboxing, going through what we received, how to put it all together, because what I would like to do today is bend something. So we'll see if that's possible. How's that? So I'm gonna go through the boxes real quick, and then we're just gonna jump into the assembly time lapse. Looks like we got our cast legs here. So we got our leg kit. Let's open this one. I think this is the back gauge. So we got our brackets, bearing rail, all that stuff. So we'll have to assemble our back gauge. Let's see what we got in here. Looks like we got a cable, chain, bunch of tiny boxes in here. Won't bore you with that quite yet. This says Press Brake storage tray. That looks like just a piece of metal. We'll get into that. These look like our bending dies. So that's cool. We got a whole box full of dies. I'll open one of these right now to show you what they are and sort of how it works. So this is your 4-way die. So you have 4 options to pick your bend radius, and you use different dies for different thicknesses of material and different types of bends. But essentially, if you see this V, this is the bottom die. And you will have a top die that is the opposite of this. It is actually a wedge. So your metal goes in here that you're trying to bend, and then your top die presses it into the bottom die and folds it. So that is the fundamental principle behind a press brake. It is done, all the work is being done by the dies. And we'll get into the specifics of those as we go, why you choose certain dies, and what bends are possible when you change the dies around. And on this machine, you can set up different dies on the same piece and do several actions in one go. CNC stuff, man. Looks like another set of dies. Here we've got a foot switch in there. And then over here, looks like more dies, which is good because the tooling, you can never have enough tooling. So this is all dies, which just opens up more and more doors of the kinds of bends and the parts we can make. So I imagine the first few steps are gonna be mounting the lifting brackets, pulling it off the pallet, and putting the legs on. But we will cue the montage. I'll narrate it along the way, let you guys know what's happening, but let's get into it. It's Christmas morning here at Lift Dark Studios. All right, a little update here on the Titan 25T assembly. Left off last night, putting the X-axis rails together. They go back here, there, and that is part of the automatic back gauge. Big part of what makes this thing a CNC press brake. But I got it here right now, just because it's close to an outlet, it's leveled. The feet are jacked down, so the casters are no longer working. It's nice and solid. So this is where we will use it for a while. There's plenty of room around it. Long material can go through this way. And yeah, it's still a mess over here. So, you know, things are gonna be refined. I think it'll probably live over by the roller eventually, but there's no 220 on that column. So it's gonna go right here. Slowly working through bags and bags and bags of nuts and bolts, parts, putting things together. I don't know what's next because I had to leave last night, but I got these 2 assemblies done with a little bit of setback. I had to take one apart because I forgot to put this bracket on before bolting this rail to the thing, and then this flange wouldn't let me get it on, but it's all assembled now. They're mirrored of each other, so I had to pay close attention not to put them on upside down, but Gonna continue following Langmuir's wonderful assembly instructions and see where we end up. It's actually 6:45 here at the shop. We fly out to PRI today. So I came in early to try to get some of this done. I really want to make this machine bend some metal before I head to PRI and see all the Langmuir folks. So let's see if I can do that. Just now finished putting it together. It looks crazy, right? Listen, that's it moving.
Oh my god.
It's like silent.
It looks like a very scary video game.
And if you get around all the safety stuff, it will destroy your finger. Cool. Well, once I figure out how to use it, I think we can use it for all sorts of stuff.
Shoot, yeah.
Just like brackets. Cranking things out fast, you know. I got some stainless I need to bend into a fireplace hood over at the things. No, just think we'll come up with all sorts of things.
Yeah, for sure.
And then of course, like figuring out that manual mode so that if we just need to make a quick bend, it's not that hard to do. I wish there was a manual mode, and there might be, to make it work like a normal one, where you just like stomp on it, it goes down, and then when you let off the pedal, it goes back up, you know, so you can just do different things. I should be able to do 1/8 inch full width, like 33 inches, which is crazy. We could like make our own 1/8 inch angle iron, which is cool actually. Out of stainless, that would be helpful, you know, like corner guards and stuff. We'll see. I guess I'm glad I finally got it working. It is Titan time, baby. So to catch you up to speed, we have acquired a Titan 25T CNC Press Brake. Because last year when I saw this at PRI at the Langmuir booth, they had just unveiled it and I couldn't believe it. It's a 25-ton press brake that has a 33-inch table and it's 29 inches between the uprights, and it's fully CNC controlled. So that means you can bend 1/8 inch full width and you can bend 19 inches of 1/4 inch steel, which is huge. We don't have a good press brake here. We have a box and pan brake. We have that thing from Swag Off-Road that goes in our H-beam press, which is okay. But I've had so many projects come by that I want to use this thing for. Some that we have to work on soon. And so I'm just nearing the end of my setup journey. You've seen me put the whole thing together. You've seen me assemble it. You've seen me unbox all the tooling. And most recently, I just finished building this whole CNC back gauge piece, which was quite the project. And I am most of the way through the manual for assembling it all. So as with all Langmuir stuff, by the way, sorry if you're tired of just hearing me talk about tools. It's just like, this is part of the journey of setting up this shop. You know, we acquired some new horsepower as part of the move in here. And I wouldn't say scrambling, but I'm trying to be very consistent and regular about staying on these things and getting them up and running to the point where I can use them, so that as we continue to increase our input and output in the fab side, I know what resources I have available to me. I know what the capabilities of the machines are, and I have hands-on experience with these new tools so that I know on the design side what we can and can't do. Does that make sense? So yes, they're toys, you know, we're all having fun, we're unboxing Christmas presents, but like, this is a tool, it's occupying space in the shop, and I wanna make sure that it can do stuff for us. So I'm just trying to do my due diligence here, scan the QR code, and work my way through these assembly guides the right way and see how it works. So I should be damn near the bottom here. I've plugged everything in. I've checked that everything works. So I have actually moved the back gauge around. I haven't been left wanting for anything as far as extra explanation, but it is tedious. Some of this stuff is very tedious. I mean, every single piece of equipment back here, these rails and the motors and all that, that was all in parts. I assembled all that piece by piece, screw by screw. And you know, it's mirror, each side is a mirror image of the other side. So there's a lot of thought. I'm very attention deficit myself. So I had to double and triple check myself before I got too far along to make sure I was doing it right. You may flock to this a lot faster than I did. And I feel like I did it pretty quick, but like, yeah, it was tough. It's not something that should be attempted if this sort of highly advanced adult Legos intimidates you. And I, you know, have yet to prove that I've even done it correctly in the first place because, well, I haven't used it yet. I've just moved it around a little bit. Just like the MR1, it has its own thing here. And so the back gauge has control. Home the machine and see it move, which is really cool. Now we home the back gauge. So you can see now I have control over these fingers. Some things are still loose, it sounds like. So that's what I got to figure out now is it all assembled correctly? And I'm still not through the manual completely. So what's up? You got some pull? We're getting there. Limit switches, man. All right, so what we're doing right now is we're calibrating our limit switches for the back gauge. So I've moved my R axis, which is this up and down part, to the limit here. And now I'm gonna thread this bolt up until it just triggers the limit switch. You can see right here. So I'm gonna go up, up, up. Listen for a click. There it is. And then lock this jam nut down. Okay. Do the same thing over here. Click. Good. Jog it back up. We should be in business. I don't know how to use any of this yet, but pretty cool. I think there's a manual, yeah, manual mode. There it goes. Make sure your hands aren't in there. It's closing. Very cool. I don't know how this works. So the cool part is, should be able to take these guys and lay them in here next to each other. And then that forms the bed for the 4-way dies. So I need to figure out what fasteners go in here. I imagine that's just 1/4-20. This is where things start to get very exciting. It's funny, I've spent all this effort putting this machine together the right way, and I have yet to spend any time learning how to use it. Okay, so there's a big wide bottom die, and then our top dies go in here and then get clamped in. So we've got these gooseneck dies, which is crazy looking. That's your bending die. I hope that can handle up to the 1/4 inch. It should. A lot of what we need to do right now is less than 1/4, but I wonder if these can handle it. I bet they can. Looks like I need to keep a 3/16 Allen key right by here. I kind of just want to put these dies in and do a manual bend because there's so much up here that you need to do, but you can do to program a bend. So I can create bends in here, look up different punches and dies. I'm just gonna hold it up high, and if you'll snug these up, you can use the other side if you want. Okay, you can stop there. Cool. Cool part is Langmuir makes these dies, and there's a lot of cool stuff we can do with making custom dies. You know, we have the MR1 now, so we can mill custom dies. We have the plasma cutter, so a lot of people have plasma cut their own bending dies by layering a bunch of steel together to make a die. It takes a long time, but it's doable. This thing looks like it's capable of doing some work. It's gonna be a little tricky. Yes, I realize where my hand is. It's not loosened enough. What's happening? Okay. Whew, more, oh, got this fingy and these little fingies. Oh, I got one less fingy. Thank you, sir. 3 little fingies. Okay. So we got upper and lower dies, full length. So this is the only thing I got with my machine that's gonna allow me to do anything full width. And you can see, the throat here. So we're looking at, from the bending point, we got about 5.5 inches deep. So that's relevant, because anything more than that is gonna have to fit in between these uprights. I have a feeling we are not gonna be very limited at all. Now, obviously the best press brake for a shop this size would be something like a 10-foot press brake or a 12-foot press brake, you know, big 100-ton, 200-ton monster. Those things are crazy expensive, and usually have to get an old one at an auction that might leak or not work or have broken parts, and then you gotta find all the tooling for it. This thing uses American standard tooling. I have a lot to learn, and I'm not gonna bore you guys with me learning some stuff, but I would like to try something. I mean, let's explore this menu together. So we've got sample bend. There's a sample bend loaded in here, actually. It's using, that's a 90-degree bend with 1/8 inch material with our 4-way die and the gooseneck dies. So theoretically, I should be able to just put some 1/8 inch in there and it'll bend it. Let's see what I got. So, wonder if this is gonna use the back gauge at all. Let's see what happens if I just hit run program. So palm switch control. So I can't hold that and both of these. So I have to hold, I guess that's what this is for, huh? Safety first. I guess that's what those are for. So let's go over to create bend. I saw how this was done. So gooseneck 88-degree punch. I think that's what this is. LSPBRK 8392. 3924. Yeah, see, this is a different die. So maybe this is the extreme gooseneck 85. Yes, it is. And so desired bend angle, 90 degrees. Have my 4-way bend die, and I need to know which opening I have up. So I guess that's measured this way. It's like 1 5/8, 1 3/8. Okay. Cold rolled steel, hot rolled steel. Material thickness, 1/8 of an inch. Material width, 5.25 inches. Total bend stroke, calculated tonnage. Now, how do I set my bend depth? I go to back gauge. I don't know what's happening. Oh shit, oh shit. These wires were caught. There's so many wires down here, and I've done such a bad job of managing them. I know, it's not done yet. We gotta 0 the back gauge. I just wanna make a bend. I'm gonna go to manual mode. I just wanna bend something. Manual continuous jog. I'm bending something. Okay, now what? Hey, I made a bend. Wow, I know. How about that? I did it the hardest, most nonsensical way, but I still need to learn how to use this thing. So I'm gonna take myself to school, and I'll see you guys back when I have it figured out. I probably did it wrong or dangerously or something, but that's how we roll. I make stuff up. I ignore a perfectly good instruction manual and I make my own reality. See ya.